quickly move forward with our another presentation from SUSE. We have with us Mr. Prasanth, MS, Regional Manager, and a technology expert with product management, consulting services, and sales background with numerous wins across strategy, sales, and business traction. Prasanth comes with 13 years of long experience with companies like 24/7 Customer, Oracle, and IBM. With a passion to create, innovate, and deliver new sale technology solutions simply and effectively, Prasanth is focused on the future of IT, that is software-defined everything. So, Mr. Prasanth, stage is yours. A huge round of applause, Mr. Prasanth, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank the team to have given me an opportunity to present about software-defined everything and a little bit about my organization. And also, I will be covering about where SUSE as an organization plays in the software-defined infrastructure technology. Right. Before I start, I'd just like to have a quick overview about what SUSE is all about. I'd like to start with one quick question. When someone says Linux, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Which is the first brand that actually comes to your mind? Red Hat. Did I hear Red Hat? Yes, we are here to change that, right? We are a 25-year-old organization, a couple of months older than Red Hat, right? We are elder to Red Hat in the Linux, enterprise Linux industry, right? We have our headquartered is in Germany, right? And we have our leaderships in various industry parlance. For example, we have about 80% market share on mainframes running in Linux. In fact, SUSE is the only organization which still continues to invest on the mainframe technology, right? So the Linux one that IBM launched was initially tested and certified on SUSE Linux, right? And our flagship product has been SUSE for SAP and SAP HANA. We have about 75% market share on SAP applications running on Linux and about 90% market share on 95% market share on SAP HANA running on Linux, right? Having said that, we have about 80% of the Fortune 500 aerospace and defense companies use SUSE Linux to run their mission-critical application, right? And Linux in automotive, SUSE is very famous in the automotive industry. We have clients like Daimler, BMW, using SUSE to run their mission-critical workloads, right? And we also, if you look at the last box here, most certified hardware devices, we have about 13,500 plus certified hardware devices, which, talks about the open standard that, we follow as an organization. So we believe in being an open technology company. We want to make sure customer has the option to use multiple technologies that the customer prefers, right? So that's why, if you look at our certifications with ISVs and IHVs, we have the maximum number of certifications, right? I'll quickly move to the next slide. This is, I think, is relevant today because, we are having a discussion on data center and cloud. Now, if you look at what was in the past, right, a few years back or a couple of decades back, all the applications was running on a mainframe kind of an infrastructure, right? And then it slowly moved to a one server per application kind of an architecture, right? And then we moved to being a virtualization world, right? I mean, when virtualization took over, it was one application per virtual machine on a shared server. But what are we moving to is something we talk about the software-defined infrastructure. So that's where technology like OpenStack, software-defined storage, all these technology will actually be more relevant, right? Now, Mr. Bujibabu was talking about, the hybrid cloud, right? Today, most of the organizations, when they talk about a cloud, most of them think that, moving towards a public cloud service provider is cloud. But then, the other option that the customer has is to have their own private cloud built. and the same time making sure that the private cloud and the public cloud infrastructure have API connectors which can actually communicate with each other. So that's where technology like OpenStack APIs, software-defined storage, software-defined networks actually come into picture to make sure that there is a seamless communication between a client's private cloud infrastructure as well as a public cloud infrastructure, right? Now, today's data center challenges, I just want to talk about what are the current data center challenges that clients face today, right? Now, as we all know that technology keeps changing and business continuously evolves because of various reasons, be it the market, be it the competition. So there's always pressure on the IT department to go ahead and respond to the business needs, right? So IT always needs to be ready to help the business in terms of providing with the required amount of compute and the storage and the network that they require. But at the same time, the budgets are shrinking, right? If you ask a CIO or a CTO, they say, you know what, my budget is not the same as what I got last year, or with the same budget that I have, I need to make sure that I provide additional resources to my organization. So budget is also a challenge, right? And the other thing is the organizations have to keep pace with the latest technologies, right? I mean, a CIO or a CTO is always in the lookout for the latest technologies which can address their business needs as well as help them stay ahead of the competition. So these are the typical data center challenges that are there in the market. And we as SUSE try to fit into this particular challenges, see how we can help clients, right? I mean, that's where we actually have our offering, right? I mean, if you look at software-defined infrastructure, these are the various components that SUSE actually provides to their customers or our customers, right? To start with, we have the physical infrastructure, which we work with most of our partners, right? And we also have the SUSE Linux Enterprise server, which is a robust operating system. We support various virtualization technologies, like it can be KVM, it can be Xen, hypervisor, Xen, VMware, Hyper-V, and even ZVM for the fact. So we make sure that the open standard is also followed in the virtualization layer as well, right? And we also have the software-defined storage, which is a flagship product. A lot of interest that we have received from customers as far as the software-defined storage is concerned. We also have associations with public cloud service providers. In fact, Pi Data Centers is one of our customers who are using SUSE OpenStack Cloud to provide cloud services to their end customers. So we also have alliances with Pi Data Center to provide cloud services to clients, right? We also provide the private cloud. Let's say, if you want to build your own private cloud, you can use SUSE OpenStack, which we're going to be talking about shortly, and build your own cloud and then integrate with any other cloud service provider, in this case, Pi Data Center. You can actually connect your private cloud onto a public cloud and keep moving data within these two clouds, right? The API connectivity is something that we can provide, right? And moving a little further today, the buzz in the market is about containers, right? I mean, containers as a service is something which is picking up lately. We've had a lot of clients who are inquiring about what is our offering on containerization. So we provide containerization as a service with the SUSE OpenStack Cloud 7. And we've also recently acquired the technology from HP Helion OpenStack. So we also provide the platform as a service for our customers through our offering, right? Now, I'll quickly move to what this OpenStack is all about. Like Mr. Buchibabu said, we have, today clients are more moving towards a private cloud scenario, right? Now, private cloud, you can look at a proprietary product like a VMware, right? Where they provide you the private cloud and you can run only on a particular hypervisor like a VMware. But with OpenStack, you get the openness in the technology where you can run multi-hypervisor, multi-servers, multi-hardware. So there is always an openness in the technology that OpenStack actually provides, right? Now, today, if the customer wants to have a mixed hypervisor environment, you can be rest assured that OpenStack will go ahead and support those mixed hypervisor environment, right? Now, like I said, there are more technology options that are available where customers, if they want to use the software-defined networking, like Mr. Sundar was talking about the software-defined networking, you can go ahead and use it along with the OpenStack technology and provide the software-defined networking to your organization, right? And the good thing is, OpenStack, the community is actively working with enterprise like SUSE and other organizations where they're providing the product in parallel to what the market is demanding or what the customer is demanding, right? So it is already working with emerging technologies. So you can be rest assured that in the next couple of years, all the emerging technologies will be available and be supported by OpenStack, right? Now, you also have the support of various technologies, starting with your storage and networking. So in a traditional method, the network, storage, and compute used to work in silos. Now, with the OpenStack, it all gets integrated. So there's going to be an integration with all the three departments, and they work together to provide OpenStack or private cloud-based services to their end users, internal end users, right? Now, what is the difference between a community edition and an enterprise edition, right? Now, this picture will actually tell you, where SUSE actually plays a part in the OpenStack world. Now, the first picture on top is various components of a car, which are all, you have to go and assemble it. If you're running a community edition, there are various components that are available in the OpenStack. You go ahead and you have to do the integration of all those components. But with SUSE OpenStack, it's the picture below. So you have the car. So you can actually use the SUSE OpenStack and get a readily deployable OpenStack solution. So that is where our organization comes into picture, where we provide you that enterprise-ready OpenStack where it is easy to install and easy to manage. It's like a pre-built solution that we are offering to our customers, where installation actually takes much lesser time than when you install a community version of the OpenStack, right? Now, this is the OpenStack, SUSE OpenStack in a nutshell, right? I mean, there are various projects that are available. If you look at it, we have the openness, where we provide the mixed hypervisor support. We support KVM, Zen, VMware. So clients who are using, say, an enterprise hypervisor, if they want to save money, right, you can look at running your non-mission critical workloads. Till the time you're confident about the open source hypervisors, you can run your non-mission critical workloads on an open source hypervisor like a Zen or a KVM. Thereby, you save a lot of money in the hypervisor licenses, right? And today, you're not stuck on one particular hardware. Let's say today you want to run, say, a Dell hardware or a HP hardware. OpenStack is already there to support the different hardware architecture, and we have reference architecture with organizations like Dell and HP. So that openness is also that the client, that we provide. And if you look at it, we also have the VMware proxy. So integration with your existing VMware environment is also possible. So thereby, what happens is, you get the infrastructure as a service, which will actually support your VMware infrastructure as well as your open source infrastructure. So you get the control from the OpenStack perspective, and you're able to provide the business as and when there is a need that comes in. I'm sure during month end or year end, during March 31st, you would want to provide those elasticity, the increased compute to your business, so that their applications are available online to the customer 24/7. So during these kind of high load period, you can actually use OpenStack effectively and provide the required compute and the storage and the network power to your end users, which is your internal business users, right? Now, I'll quickly move to our the next product, which is the SUSE software-defined storage. Now, software-defined storage is basically an intelligent software product, which actually powered by the Ceph technology. Now, using this product, you can use commodity hardware, like your servers that you're there, which are available within your organization, and convert them into a storage box. Let's say you have a lot of data which you want to archive, right? And you don't want to spend money in buying expensive hardware box, because this is going to be a secondary storage. Now, instead of spending money on an expensive storage box, you can actually look at using commodity servers, industry standard servers, like, say HP or Dell or Apollo servers or Supermicro servers, which have, large hard disk capacity. You can convert those server boxes into a storage infrastructure and use it to store your lesser mission critical data, because being banks, I'm sure you would have a lot of data which you have to store just for compliance purposes, because RBI has those norms where you have to keep the data for about 5 to 7 years, right? You can use the software-defined storage, SUSE Enterprise storage, to provide the secondary storage for your organization, right? Now, the good thing about the SUSE Enterprise storage is we provide file, object, and block. So we can provide all 3 different types of storage, right? And this is how the architecture will look like. You can have multiple storage nodes, multiple management nodes. Best part is we are, again, hardware agnostic. We can use your existing hardware, or if you want to buy new hardware, you can still add those additional nodes, and the software will still accept it and help you manage and monitor those nodes, right? So that's the architecture in a nutshell. Right? Now, again, where it all fits into the software-defined infrastructure. Now, if you look at it, the model 1 on the left-hand side, it is all working in silos, right? Your network, compute, and storage are working in silos. And there were traditional protocols like, fiber channel, iSCSI, and all that. And it was all process-driven, and it takes a lot of time for the end users to go ahead and respond, for the IT to go ahead and respond to the end user request. Now, with the software-defined storage, you're actually able to move towards a software-defined data center, and it is all software-defined, so there is always an agile infrastructure which is business-driven, and there is always quick to respond to the customer needs, right? Your end user needs, right? So this is the things which are covered in the SUSE Enterprise Storage 4. We are going to be coming up with SUSE Enterprise 5 in the next couple of months. This is a product which is catching up in the market. There's a lot of inquiries that we have been receiving on the software-defined storage. The USP that we have is we don't limit you on the capacity of the data that you have. Let's say you have hundreds of terabytes of data. We don't charge you based on the capacity. So we only charge you based on the node. So thereby, there is a good difference in pricing that we can show when compared to our competitors in the market. But at the same time, pricing is just one part. We are providing all these features that are there, highly redundant data cluster, then there is scalability. You can scale up and scale out using this SUSE Enterprise storage. You can also do the data encryption at rest. So we're going to be coming up with deduplication in version 5. So there's a lot of technology that we are adding as far as the product is concerned. So do feel free to reach out to us if you have a strategy or if you have a plan to work on your secondary data to start with. And then we can definitely be providing you, we will be able to provide you the required solution working with our business partners like HP, Lenovo, and Dell, right? So these are the use cases, right? I mean, data that are constantly grows during the course of business. I'm sure being banks, there is a lot of data that keeps coming in, so you can use those bulk data to be stored using the SUSE Enterprise storage, right? Financial records, all of this can be stored using the SUSE Enterprise storage. So with that, I'd like to end my presentation. I know that was quick. So if there are any questions, I'll be more than happy to take them. No questions?
Any questions? No.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for your time. We look forward to interacting with you here. So if there are any queries, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Prasanth. Please be on the stage for a while. And booth is just right at your back, and very eco-friendly booth they have, very attractive. So please, if you have any questions regarding his presentation or anything, you know more about SUSE, so please contact him and his team. Now I would request Mr. Milind Varirkar, who's the General Manager IT Saraswat Bank, to please come on stage and present a token of thank you to Mr. Prasanth for joining us and coming for the conference. A huge round of applause for both Mr. Prasanth and Mr. Milind.